Block harmful rays. Sunscreen and your child. How to keep your kids safe under the sun's rays. Welcome to Epic Mom Life. I am your host, Kara Peterson. This show is sponsored by The Possum's Tale, a unique book adventure for your 6 to 12-year-old child. Let's jump into today's show. Block harmful rays. Sunscreen and your child. How to keep your kids safe under the sun's rays. As the sunny days approach, it's important to make sure that your little ones are protected. It can be an enormous rabbit hole if you're one of those mothers who researches everything that you put on your child to look into sunscreen. I have you covered. I looked up the importance of sunscreen, understanding UV rays and skin damage, key ingredients for effective protection, proper application techniques, recommended sunscreens for children's sensitive skin, and other ways to keep your kiddos safe so that you can sit back and have fun in the sun with your kiddo. Before we get started, here is a super quick list of what to do this summer. 1, hydrate. 2, use a sunscreen lotion with a zinc oxide base. 3, wait 15 minutes before going outside once you put the lotion on. 4, wear sun protective clothing. 5, bring water with you. 6, bring spray sunscreen for reapplication. Why is it crucial to protect children's skin from the sun? UV, ultraviolet radiation, consists of UVA and UVB rays, both of which can lead to sunburn, premature aging, and an increased risk of skin cancer. Yeah, I know you're laughing right now or rolling your eyes, even thinking or worrying about your kids' premature aging skin. That isn't even on your radar. Although some of us kind of wish it was on our parents' radar at the ages we are now, but that's beside the point. What you're really worried about is choosing the right SPF for kids is essential. Look for broad spectrum sunscreen with an SPF of at least 30 to ensure protection against both UVA and UVB rays. For children with sensitive skin, opt for sunscreens that are fragrance-free and hypoallergenic. How does sun exposure in childhood impact skin health in the long run? Understanding the long-term effects of UV radiation, remember that includes both UVA and UVB rays, on younger skin is crucial in emphasizing the importance of sunscreen in kids. Research shows that UV rays that damage skin can also alters, this is key, a tumor-suppressing gene, giving injured cells less chance to repair before progressing to cancer. 5 or more sunburns and just one, blistering sunburn more than doubles your risk of developing potentially deadly melanoma. That's a pretty heavy-duty thing. So, as a parent, I'm thinking I only need to screw up 5 times, and one of those times has to be a really big screw up. You know how easy it is to screw up as a mom? You only get 5, according to this research, and I have that research link in the notes. Are you going to be hanging out with your kids in the sun, and you're kind of bored, and you wish you had a good book? I have a list of books that are fabulous, fun reads to kind of get you off of this super, super heavy topic of sunscreen. I know you didn't think sunscreen was such a big deal. It's actually a big deal. I'm a totally avid reader. I love to read, and this is my fun books read. I guess you'd call it the beach reads. Well, even though there's only 25 on the list, almost all of them are a beginning of a series. So this actually leads to 240 books that I have personally read, all 240 of them, and loved. And they come from 7 different genres. So 7 different types of books. So no matter what kind of book you like, you should be able to find it there. Back to sunscreen. What does SPF mean? And how does it relate to sun protection for kids? Okay, this topic totally cracks me up because my husband always wants to get the highest SPF possible, like 50. I think it's all marketing. So let's learn about SPF, or sun protection factor. SPF indicates the level of protection of sunscreen, the level of protection a sunscreen offers against UVB rays, which are responsible for sunburn and can contribute to skin cancer. Okay, so the first thing I think of is, well, what about the UVA rays? We'll get back to that. When selecting sunscreen for children, it's essential to choose a broad spectrum formula with an SPF of 30 or higher to ensure adequate protection against both the UVA and UVB rays. So now all of a sudden what we're learning is SPF only super matters up to 30, and it only covers the UVA rays. So now you have to make sure that you get the broad spectrum. So now you're going to have to read the fine print, because that also will get the UVB rays. So that's pretty important. The SPF number reflects the sunscreen's ability to prolong the skin's natural defense. So we all have a natural defense against UVB rays. Oh, whoops, I got the UVA and the UVB messed up. So you need the broad spectrum for the UVAs, allowing kids to stay in the sun without getting burned. However, it's important to note that SPF values do not linearly, like they across the lines, correlate to increased protection. So a SPF 30 blocks approximately 97% of the UVB rays, but an SPF of 50% blocks 98% of the rays. So it looks like 30 is pretty much the same as 50 on the SPF scale, except for by one tiny percent. So I kind of think it is marketing, but you'll have to make your own judgment about that. Now you actually know the facts and you don't have to go down that rabbit hole. I did for you. What are the key ingredients to look for in a safe sunscreen for kids? Look for sunscreens that contain zinc oxide or titanium dioxide, as these are mineral-based ingredients that provide broad spectrum protection against both UVA and UVB rays. Yeah, these are the pain in the rear sunscreens that slather on white and they kind of are like sticky and you have to like really rub them. Okay, they're a pain. I get it. I'm going to tell you all about how I do sunscreen later, but these are pretty important. Mineral-based sunscreens are less likely to cause skin irritation, also making them ideal for those kiddos that have sensitive skin. Additionally, these are sunscreens that are labeled as broad spectrum, indicating they offer protection against both types of UVA rays. It's also important to opt for water-resistant formulas, which most of your titanium dioxide, I think that's what it was, and let's see, your zinc oxide and titanium dioxide are both water-resistant, I believe. That's why they're such a pain to get on. These are important because not only if your child is swimming or in the water or the sprinklers or the slip and slide or whatever, but if they're sweating, but the water-resistant formulas, the sunscreens, as difficult as they are to get on, they're also harder to get off. And simply put, as moms, we get busy and we forget about time. And those water-resistant sunscreens just have better staying power. And they adhere to your little one's skins and they stay on better and longer. So if you are looking for a double use, some sunscreens actually have added ingredients such as antioxidants or moisturizers, that kind of thing, for putting nourishment on the skin. I'll be real honest. I always felt like I was doing awesome sauce to get the really good sunscreen on my kiddos once a day, that titanium dioxide or zinc oxide. I didn't worry about also nurturing them later. Sometimes I would just give them a really good rub down with aloe vera at the end of the day to moisturize them and replenish anything. If they got even a mild burn that you couldn't see and their skin dried up, I would do that at the end of the day with the aloe vera. And that's how I just did that whole thing. Are there any key ingredients to avoid in kids' sunscreen? There are. Certain chemical ingredients such as oxybenzone, octinoxate, I know I totally butchered that, and avobenzone are commonly, like almost in every single sunscreen you find at your big superstores. Those are the ones that you will find in those sunscreens. And those are almost all the ones that you should avoid if anybody in your family, including your child, has sensitive skin. Now, fun fact, these are the exact same chemicals that are now being banned at almost all of your popular tourist locations that have an ocean because they damage the coral reef. Sunscreens that damage the reef may be bad to put on our kiddos' skin. Who would have thought? Again, the research is in the notes. Instead, look for the mineral-based sunscreens. These are gentle yet effective ingredients to provide broad spectrum protection against the sun without any risk of skin irritation. So you remember when you'd go to the pool when you were young and you have the lifeguards and they'd have the white noses? That was the zinc oxide. You can make it so that it's not the white nose, but it is more work. I'm totally upfront with you. It's more work, but it's total protection. What are the best practices for applying sunscreen on your kid's skin? Be thorough. You really need to cover all the exposed areas of your kid's skin. So now, like right now, you can't really see my ears. As soon as I get wet, oh, my ears are going to show. So is that really delicate area behind my ears and this area of my neck. You need to get all of those often overlooked areas. Also, the tops of the feet. I don't know why. Tops of the feet are one of the areas that are most overlooked because you can obviously see them. I will also tell you that when you get a sunburn on the tops of your feet, and I am totally speaking from experience, it makes wearing shoes so miserable. Sunscreen is most effective when you give it a 15-minute set time before jumping in the water. How often should sunscreen be reapplied? Okay, they always say 2 hours. Again, I think if you are a mom and you get it on every single crevice of your kid's body that is going to be seen by that sun, you're doing great. But you need to do the zinc oxide. Because if you just do it once a day and you do it with that zinc oxide, then you're going to have a much better shot. And again, you have one more step, and we're getting to that step. They say you have to do it 2 hours and reapply. Okay, so this is what we did. We applied the mineral base all over in the morning before the child even had a chance to see the sun. So this could be like 2 hours before they even were outside running around. I made sure that that zinc oxide was on. Then, throughout the day, we did a spray can touch-up. And we just did it like that. And we used, Costco actually every year sells a spray can touch-up that has, their can at Costco, one of them, it's not one of the big name brands. I don't know if it's called Hawaiian or I don't know what it is, but anyway, it doesn't have the bad stuff. So look for that if you are a Costco shopper because you can get it a whole lot cheaper, but you can spray that. And sometimes with that, because it comes out with the white stuff, it doesn't spray so sweetly. You do have to rub it a little bit, but I tell you, that makes it so much easier. This made sunscreen something both my husband and I could remember and handle because neither of us love sunscreen all over our hands. Is there a difference in protection between spray sunscreens and lotion sunscreens? Spray sunscreens, hands down, offer convenience and quick application, making them super suitable for active kids who may be resistant to sitting still for lotion application. They are also great for parents who detest lotion on their hands, like me. It's crucial to ensure even coverage when using spray sunscreen, as it can be challenging to gauge the amount applied and the potential areas are left unprotected. And you can't see it unless you use the really good white stuff. So you don't know for sure what's being sprayed and what isn't. We also live in an area that has a lot of wind. So you're never sure if the spray actually makes it to the child or makes it into the wind and to areas unknown. On the other hand, lotion sunscreens allow for more precise and thorough coverage, ensuring that every exposed area receives adequate protection, which is why we do both. We do the one thorough covering and then spray the rest of the day. Additionally, the act of massaging lotion into the skin can serve as a tactile reminder of the importance of sun protection, and it fosters a habit of thorough application. And do you remember love languages for kids? I did that as a video, 6 months ago. I have a link for that in the notes. But your child's love language may be touch. In this case, your child may hear that you love them when you apply the lotion. I would say that even though the spray is quick, convenient, and clean, take the time to touch your child with a lotion application, saying that you love them. Aside from sunscreen, what other measures can parents take to protect their children from UV rays? When it comes to protecting your children from the harmful sun rays, sunscreen is just one piece of the puzzle. One essential step is to dress your child in protective clothing, such as lightweight, long-sleeved shirts, pants, and wide-brimmed hats to minimize direct sun exposure. Invest in swim shirts. If you haven't heard these, this is going to be the most valuable part of this entire lesson and video. So go and get Amazon it, go to Costco. They have them every year, probably around March. They do them really early. But look at swim shirts. They're fun to wear. You can wear them in the water, and you have to put sunscreen on less parts of your kid's little body. But they totally block out all of the sun's rays. They're wonderful. You can also, it's not that they keep your kid warmer in the water, but I wear them all the time. It feels warmer to me in the water when I go over the shoulder part. Now, eventually they get wet and everything, but I guess it just feels warmer to have a little bit more clothing on when you're in the water. You can try to be out of the sun during the peak sun hours, and that will help block the UV rays. The peak sun hours are between 10 and 4. And this is great at reducing the risk of UV rays. The problem is it's also a bummer when you want your child to be outside and active this summer. So that's kind of a win-lose situation. When your child is out in the sun, encourage them to wear UV sunglasses to protect their eyes. Remember, your child can dry up on the inside as well as on the outside. So teach your child to hydrate often. Get them a fun water bottle that they can sticker up to make their own. Sunscreen is your friend when it comes to protecting your little ones from the sun's rays. Understanding UV rays and skin damage, key ingredients for effective protection, and proper application techniques will help you choose and use sunscreen confidently. With the right sunscreen and other sun-safe practices, you can help your child enjoy the sunny days while staying safe and protected. So slather on the sunscreen, grab your shades, and head out for some fun in the sun. Kids movie quote, don't hide, live. Follow the sun. You'll make it to tomorrow. Guy in The Croods. If you are hearing this message, you've listened to the entire episode. And for that, I want to send you a huge thank you. Please leave me a comment or review and share with other moms you know. Get in touch in the comments or on Kara's social media networks. See you next week for a new episode.